okay? Internal links. Google is big on internal links. So for example, if you look at my website and go to my blog pages, you're gonna find that in some cases I'm talking about how to actually light a candle. But what I do is I finish up and I say, hey, and to look at our best candle collection or to look at our wood wick candle collection, click this link. And what it is I'm now internally linking to a product in my website. You're thinking like, why would Google care about that? Don't worry about why Google cares about something. Just know that they do. It's also equally as important to actually link to sites outside of your website, which is what I do with my backlinks. When I get a backlink, I actually do a posting where sometimes I even go back to a blog post I've already done and refresh it because Google will crawl it and now make the connection to the backlink, which helps in two ways. One, it may speed up giving me the actual backlink credit, which can take months. So just because I have these backlinks that seem to show up really well and raise my domain rating to 35, I got lucky. In some cases, it could take weeks before those sites are crawled by Google and the backlink connection is made to me. Well, let's speed it up and do things the other way around. Let's actually do a posting or refresh some content in our website where we actually reference the backlink and list it as a link that someone can click on and go to it. So you can actually click on a lot of my product pages or my blogs and actually see these backlinks that I'm connected to now. This does two things. It actually speeds up the Google process for crawling my page to them and hopefully makes a connection from them to me. But what it also does is now that my domain rating is actually a 35, some of those backlinks that I actually acquired had domain rating scores of 20. Now you may ask, what good is that for me to have a domain rating score of 20? Well, it may not be right now that I'm a 35, but it was definitely good when I was a 0. And it's still a good thing to have connected to my website. You don't just have to have domain rating scores connected to your website that are higher than you. Matter of fact, Google will actually see that as you're actually trying to acquire backlinks that aren't meaningful and aren't related to your product. If you're just acquiring links that are for example, I'm not saying turn down Forbes or CNN, Newsmax, or Fox News if they offer to put your website in some publication they have because they have outrageous domain rating scores up in the 90s, even close to 100. But you're actually looking to acquire a plethora of backlinks across several spectrums. So what is actually doing the backlink posting do for you? Now what happens is that one backlink I acquired that might have had a domain rating of 20, if I and several of the other e-commerce websites that actually acquired that backlink actually do a backlink right back to them, now we're helping increase their domain rating, which in turn helps us again. So that's why I tell you that great way to actually do external links is to the backlinks you're acquiring for your website, even if they're business listing directory backlinks, and they're out there. Be careful with them though, because some of them are spammy, and maybe we'll talk about that in a later episode, or you can email me or put in a request or a submission on the blog, and I'll answer more in depth about that, because I think we're about 32 minutes for this video right now. And then also the other important point. So I want to get back to why does it take so long for us to rank? Why are we not a player? Why do I tell you we're looking at probably 12 months? Because I know I've done enough research to actually let me know that even if my domain rating gets up to in the 40s in the next 3 months, Google still doesn't trust me. That's a time thing. And there isn't a whole lot you can do to speed that up. Now at 12 months though, if my domain rating is in the 40s, there's no reason I should not be acquiring that site traffic to my website. And if I have a quality product and I'm turning over conversions, in other words, transactions, I'm selling candles, it'll all be worth it. But that's why we're doing this video. Unlike most video segments where everyone wants to tell you how great it was and how well everything worked out, we're actually starting before we know. But I do have a solid plan, and I'm trying to share it here with you to see if you might want to get on board and also consider doing some of the same strategies that I'm using here, which once again, what are we going to do to speed that up? We're going to internally link our products across blogs, product and collection pages. We're actually going to do this actual follow-up once a month on YouTube, and then we're going to do a connection from YouTube to us, which once again is going to create an external link from us to YouTube. We're actually going to use short, medium, and long-tailed keywords with SEO difficulty scores between hopefully even 1 or 0. I haven't seen a 0 out there, but I've seen some 1s and 2s, and nothing any higher than 54 for me. 54 is my cutoff. Why? Because I had some words I just couldn't resist to use. But anyhow, and then consistent backlinks with domain rating scores, hopefully somewhere between 30 and 50 at this point, now that I'm at 35. But nothing wrong with still acquiring a domain rating backlink that's in the low 30s underneath me, because they're established. They've got what we call SEO juice, Google's juice. And they have trust with Google. We're going to index all new search content through Google Search Console. That'll probably come in a later segment. But if you don't have Google Search Console connected to your website, you need to get that done, because that's truly where you can go index things from your own site to make them actually be read by Google quicker. Now, does it do it instantaneous? No, it does not, but it'll probably do it in 1 or 2 days versus weeks, because Google will crawl everything on your site without you doing anything. In other words, if you don't try to index anything through Google Search Console, and if I'm speaking Greek to you, let me know. You can hit me on email or in this blog. And as a matter of fact, when I actually publish the blog on my website, and I'll go over more details and publish it so everybody can actually get some more information on Google Search Console, because it's kind of your Bible on how your website's really doing. Ahrefs and Ubersuggest, all these things are metrics tracking what it thinks Google cares about, but the true measurement is Google Search Console. Okay. Also, if you don't have it, some other things I'm going to recommend is you need Canva. You need Canva or some other type of platform to actually do your videos. I'm going to use it to actually cut this video, chop it down, get it ready for YouTube. Even for other things, advertisements, I've used it for flyers. I've used it for putting cards inside my candle boxes, giving people a discount. And where I say this is a good idea to use it for, be careful. You can even use it to suggest, hey, if someone gives you a review on your product, that they get a 20% off on their next purchase. What I would stay away from is telling them if they give you a 5-star review, because then it sounds like you're shopping for reviews. I don't know that there's anything necessarily really seriously wrong with that, but it just seems unethical to me and not something I'm doing. But you got to run your business how you see fit. It's certainly not illegal. Okay, so let's get back to that illegal comment. I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm just talking to you as someone who tries to make good decisions, and it's just not something I would do. Okay, if you're ready to climb, start putting into motion some of the things you've seen in this video. Once again, there's a possibility that even over the next 6 months, I may go from a domain rating score of 35 to only about 39 or 40. That's okay, because what are we establishing? Credibility with Google. We're establishing trust, and we're getting that link juice and everything else, the SEO juice we need to be up at the same level as our competitors who are getting those 25 to 30,000 site visits a month. Okay, this concludes this first segment. If you have any questions, like I said, reach out for me at robwallison@williscandleshop.com, or just respond to the blog that we're going to be doing that coincides with the YouTube video once a month. Okay, thank you for your time. Have a great day.